Are you ready, Nick? Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the January 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Woodbridge Board of Education to order at 7:02 p.m. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be available on the district website. I will call the roll. Stephen Lawrence, Vice Chair.
Present.
Sarah Beth Delpree, Secretary.
Present.
Mr. Jay Daya, not with us this evening. Lauren Francesi.
Present.
Brooke Hopkins, not with us this evening. Jeff Hughes.
Here.
Mike Strambler.
Here.
Aaron Williamson.
Here.
I'm Lynn Piasek, Chair. Staff in attendance this evening, Ms. Vonda Tenza, Superintendent, Ms. Donna Coonan, Director of Business and Operations, Ms. Annalisa Sherman, Principal, Mr. James Sapia, Assistant Principal, and Ms. Marcia DeGennaro, Clerk of the Board. This evening, for those of you who are watching via Government Access TV or YouTube, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led via video by the Beecher Road School Student Council. So I would ask the board to please stand to join them in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we thank the Student Council for their participation this evening. Correspondence. Sarah Beth?
Any correspondence can be found in board book, and that's a reminder. It's be submitted before 4 p.m.
Right. I don't think we
I don't
have
think there's
any for
anything.
this evening. Okay, moving on. In the agenda, we are up to public comment. Seeing no public other than our administration here. We'll move on to consent agenda. The minutes from the December 16th regular meeting are included in this evening's consent agenda, along with a budget narrative, a budget summary, the detailed financial report, and the combining financial statements. Does anyone on the board wish to extract anything for discussion tonight from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Stephen Lawrence, second. Mike Strambler. All those in favor?
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. It's unanimous, thank you. We're on item 4 of the agenda, reports. Superintendent report, Ms. Tenza.
Happy New Year, everybody. We'll start off, we always start with enrollment. Our enrollment is currently at 871. Actually, since that was written, we've actually bumped up a few more. But that number is about where we were last year at the same time. We do have a lot of ill children and staff. Last week into this week, we've had well over 100 to 120 out every day, so there's a lot of illness running around for staff also. So what that means to us is a huge thank you to the administration and the North Office secretarial staff for their efforts to adjust and fill coverage for lots and lots of ill staff members. It's also a thank you to the teachers because they have to pivot when so many of their children are out. It's really difficult to teach something new when you're missing a great deal or more than half of your class. In fact, I ran into a music teacher and she had maybe 3 or 4 children for ukuleles, and I walked away thinking, what if that was singing and you had to do a solo? There would be a lot of solos, and that was very scary to me. Also regarding education, last week we had a nice collaboration opportunity with Amity. Dr. Byers has trained several teachers in exploring and utilizing artificial intelligence in the classroom for instruction as well as for teacher planning. And so she invited us to send a group of teachers up and learn from her teachers. Mr. Sapia also attended. They spent the day up at Amity learning from colleagues and having little playgrounds, and they were probably well fed, I suspect, knowing Mrs. Byers. And they came back on fire, if you know Mr. Sapia's terms, and actually Mr. Sapia sat with the administrative team just the other day at Cabinet and spent a good 45 minutes helping us explore artificial intelligence tools. We played around with Magic School and Gamma and even some other topics and platforms. So more to come on that. I think we'd like to see a nice showing of that at an upcoming curriculum meeting. So, regarding our space project, Antonazzi and Associates identified community workshops that would be held, and our first one was held last Wednesday. It was, attended by maybe 5 or 6 parents. We hope for more family members and community members to attend at our next one, which is February 3rd?
3rd.
Yes, starting at 5:30. At 5:30, there are tours. You may think you know the building. It is really helpful to walk the building from a children's lens to see how far some of these distances are, as well as to see some of the spaces that we're a little bit worried about. And at 6:30, there was a very informative presentation, a lot of great data, and some opportunity for people in the community to prioritize. They had beecher bucks, and they put them into different bags that you get to pick as to where you'd like to see attention and funds being spent. So it was really interesting to see that and peek in those bags, and the consultants will tally those and use that as another data point. So we look forward to our next session. Just as an interesting data point, last January I sat over at Beecher Road and reported to you, God bless you, that we had just finished our roof reimbursement application to the state. So a year ago, we finished the application. That was a huge feat for Donna to accomplish. And a year later, the roof is finished, and that means that a quarter of our roof is refreshed and functioning well. It has been a huge relief. I also want to share with you a direct quote from my January 2024 report, which is, "Please remember that much like a home, BRS needs ongoing maintenance and monitoring, and I assure you we will be back at the table discussing additional roof replacement and repairs as time passes. Please don't think we're done." So we're not back talking about leaking roofs, but it did, come up as a celebration for us that a year ago we were just starting it. It's done. We're so happy, but we'll be back. Last night, we presented in this room our budget to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance. Stephen Lawrence and Lynn Piazzik started off the presentation, and Donna and I carried it through. Aaron was also here. We then were followed by Amity's budget presentation. It was nice to go back to back. I was sharing earlier that to see the through lines of need between our school and the Amity district, which is where our children feed into, was wonderful. They have a need for increasing multi-language learner support, and we see our numbers growing. We know that we're going to have that need at some point soon. So they see a lot of the same curricular priorities that we have. So again, very refreshing. The joint boards had a few questions for us. They were very thoughtful. And so over the next few weeks, all of the departments will share their budgets, and we will wait for the town as they begin their very difficult task of prioritizing needs. We do have a strong partnership with the town. I appreciate that, and I trust that their decisions will be in the best interest of our entire community. The past few weeks, I've been in classrooms and I've spotted a lot of creativity and open-ended thinking, and that, again, is a direct result of the planning of the teachers and staff. It takes time to plan that work. Every time I enter a classroom, and I appreciate how special our district is and how hard our staff work. Our building is always clean, it's safe, our cafeteria always smells yummy, and I often hear how adults are stepping up to help each other. It really is a wonderful environment, and that's important to remember as we, at the policy level, start to talk about a new safe school climate policy, and we really have a lot of that embedded in our DNA of the building. We've also seen a lot of great learning since we returned. Children were exploring and learning in all grade levels about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his impact on the world. I saw some science and sound waves with those old-fashioned things that you put to your ear and vibrated. I did see ukulele lessons. Again, that teacher's on a cart, so there's a lot of pushing those around the building. And even a little bit of Spanish. Our STEAM room has guppies. The BRS News put out a nice little segment on guppies. So just a lot of great things going on. Student-led, student-driven. I had a superintendent for the morning, Superintendent Kari, a direct result of our Halloween hoot. he came and joined me, and he did it all. He visited classrooms and checked out the frozen waffles and the ice cream and rode the elevator. Somebody would not ride the elevator. Ms. Piazik. I think she feels it's a little old. And he gathered some data for our community workshop. He walked the distances, and we timed to see how long it would take. It's about 5 minutes from Mag down to music. And there was no stopping with Kari. He just kept walking. So I share these just to remind you that my work with you as the board is important. We work on policy, we work on the budget. But my work with education and leadership is probably nearer and dearer to my heart, and that is what fosters our strong educational community. So I will always tell you the nuts and bolts of the business, but I also will always keep the learning forefront. I close this part of the report with a retirement. We have had Kathy Marler, a special education teacher, submit her intention to retire at the end of our school year. You know, this is bittersweet. She's a new grandma, so that's wonderful. She does plan on continuing to find some ways to impact literacy and struggling readers in our state, so that also is great. We have our eye on her should we, have some needs at some point, but she's ready to retire. She has been with us. She started, I believe, half-time in 2019, 18-19 maybe, and then went full-time serving special education and remedial reading for primarily grades 2 and 3. And previously she was over at Bethany Community School for 8 years. She's done a lot of work with dyslexia. It's going to be a huge loss, very hard to fill her position. So I just wanted to say that that is probably on our agenda this evening. And then I will transition into a brief math and literacy update.
Perfect.
Okay. So we had said that we would, halfway through the year, touch base on math and literacy, and we are actually going much deeper with literacy at the curriculum meeting coming up in a week or two. We're going to get a nice tour of the work that's been done, and then actually at our February board meeting, we will have the technology website folks come and give us an updated tour of how to use our website, what's on our website, and we will show you a lot of the curriculum that the curriculum committee will see in advance. So regarding math, we do continue to learn together with and from our children, and last winter we listened carefully to parent concerns. We spent time with our teachers. Just as a reminder, a lot of that work, that research, those videos of our meetings are still posted on our website. This year, our math specialists have been very active in digging into our math data and supporting our teachers and students with learning and new resources. Administration continues to share that our new resources are being implemented. Some of those research-based resources that we purchased through Renzulli, experiences with UConn, differentiation in instruction and homework is observed in classrooms. Pre-algebra is being taught. It's being taught primarily by our STEAM teacher and supported by our math specialists to 6th grade students that were identified. We have communicated in a large mass effort of using Dojo and teacher emails and class newsletters, and we feel like that is really working. Our grades K through 6 math have been scoped out in a structured scope and sequence. You will see that on the website next month. And that math curriculum in general will be reviewed, and starting right after school ends, we will be digging into a revision of the math curricula. So we're kind of excited about that. Literacy. At our curriculum meeting next week, the literacy team is very excited to share their work that's been ongoing for about a year in partnership with our classroom teachers. This has been hard work. It's been really challenging, I think, at times to not get overwhelmed, and they're very excited to share their draft of the ELA curriculum, which also will be posted online. That is a state requirement that we start to post our curriculum online. With that in mind, I just want to remind you of what curriculum is and what it is not, because curriculum is not a textbook. Curriculum is not a thick pile of lesson plans. Curriculum is a framework for how something will be taught. It's usually focused around content, whether it's units or time frames, and it focuses on how children will learn it and how it will be assessed. It's a guide, and it's aligned to standards and grade level expectations. It basically helps anybody understand what children will be able to know and do at the end of a unit of study. It suggests research-based resources and activities that align with enduring understandings and goals, but it does not list a variety of things. It's not individual lesson plans, it's not a script of a lesson, it's not a large document that informs daily instruction. That lesson planning level is not what our curriculum would be. So when people are looking to see what's posted, they will see the broader brush. The literacy team focused on creating an organizational structure that includes exactly that: pacing guides, enduring understandings, possible assessments, some learning goals, and learning plans. Many of the new resources were shared at a very well-attended literacy night this fall, so that was exciting for parents to see and dip their toes into that as well. And we will continue the literacy development of our curriculum, but for now we're going to kind of pause and implement for a few months, implement, rest over the summer, work on math, and then kind of come back after we've implemented. You've got to remember that at the elementary level, everybody who teaches literacy also teaches math. So if we're asking them to work on revising their math curriculum for 3 or 4 days, it's really hard to turn around and then say, save some energy for another 3-4 days of language arts. So that's why we're kind of segmenting with that curriculum plan.
All set?
Mm-hmm.
Questions, comments from the board?
Just a quick question. So the STEAM teacher is teaching pre-algebra. Was that part of the original plan, or are we improvising?
Nope, that was part of our plan, was to work with the math specialists. Because the M in STEAM for mathematics, yes. Yep. We feel like it's going very well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Questions, comments? You had that look in your eye, though,
I was
Mike.
thinking.
I saw
don't
that
know
look
what
in
the
your eye,
question
like
is.
maybe.
Actually, I'll ask a question. You mentioned that at the next curriculum meeting, we'll be able to hear a bit about HMH, how that's been going, and you mentioned a website. We'll be able to see the website. So is this the website that the teachers are using for instruction, or following? What is? Can you say more about that?
Yes, so we have pretty robustly, probably through Google Docs, I'm thinking, we have kind of expanded out how our curriculum is scaffolded so that it's all linked. So if you click here, it's going to show you maybe some resources, and click here, and it's going to show you some. That will be posted on our district website.
Okay, so basically the curriculum for parents who are interested
Yes.
in learning.
Yep.
Okay, I was
Yep.
just looking at that now.
Yep.
So that will be posted.
It has to be.
after we meet at the curriculum meeting and bring it back here to the general meeting. Okay.
Yep,
All right.
really, districts are supposed to be posting all of their curriculum, and we have a lot of it up there.
Yeah.
We don't have all of it.
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
see
take
we
some
have
time.
math, but we don't have literacy up there yet.
Correct. And
Okay.
we had something up there for literacy and took it down, and even what we have up there for math, we put up that shell. It's still not really as robust as what you're going to see for language arts. That will come after we begin our work this summer.
Okay. And is the literacy the only one we don't have at this time on the website?
No, we're working also right now, I believe, with art and Spanish to update. I think art had something. I don't know if Spanish
Art
had
does have
anything.
something. Yeah.
I do have a list back in my office.
Okay. Okay.
It won't happen all at once because, again, so many of our teachers teach just about everything, like science and social studies. Like, it all needs to be done. We just can't do it all at once.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, great. Beecher Road School update. Ms. Sherman.
Thank you. I'm going to dovetail nicely with Superintendent Tenza. So I'm going to start with actually a shout out to our PTO once again. They continue to have grade level parents staff our faculty rooms and our north office with treats and snacks, and it is always a very fun day when that happens, so I have to say thank you to all of them. We're also currently running our Double Good Popcorn fundraiser. It's only a 4-day fundraiser, so if you have not yet signed up, I'm hoping that you do so and you invite some family and friends to buy some popcorn. It is delicious. We did get some samples for all of our staff and all of our drivers. Everybody got popcorn. And we've been putting some samples out for parents as well to try to encourage signing up and selling. It is quite delicious and really, really exciting that we're participating in this new fundraiser. The PTO is also collecting gently used books for one of my favorite events, the annual book swap. The book swap is going to take place very, very soon. And once again, all of the students, no matter if they bring in a book or don't bring in a book, they will have an opportunity to get some books. Once all the students have had opportunities to get books, teachers have opportunities to get books, and then all of the leftover books are donated to various organizations. I also am excited to share with you that we are going to be welcoming some educators from various districts around the state and maybe even from out of state to come for an Apple site visit, because we are still listed as an Apple Distinguished School in Connecticut. It is a 3-year distinction. We have been asked to invite people into our school to see how we are using technology, not only in the technology lab, but even more importantly, across all of the different classrooms. We actually had a visit from 2 Apple reps coming to talk to us and meet with us about this site visit, and they were very excited. They were taking pictures and talking to us and asking us all sorts of questions, and it was really fun to see. Afterwards I reflected and I said, when you're doing it every day, you almost forget how amazing we really are and how integrated our technology really is, and all of the amazing resources that we have and the coding that our kids are doing and all the work that we're doing with technology in our building. And when you have somebody else come into the building and point it all out to you, it's a particular point of pride for all of us. So we're very excited to welcome them. Stay tuned for more information, because of course I will be inviting all of our board members to join us if you're able. And there will be an opportunity to see technology in action. There's going to be a panel discussion, and there's going to be a question and answer, and all of the educators that visit us will have the opportunity to engage in all of that. Superintendent Tenza mentioned our literacy work. As an addendum, I'm going to also share with you that tomorrow a coach from HMH, which is the literacy program that we adopted, is actually going to be visiting Beecher and spending the day with us. That was part of our contract with HMH, that we got some learning days with our coach. We've already used some of them, but this time we decided to really focus her attention. We asked the grade level teachers in K-3 what do you really want to see from our coach? And so each grade level picked a specific area of focus, ranging from small group instruction to implementing some of the core components of the program. And that coach is going to come in. She planned out lessons for each grade level, and we're going to allow the classroom teachers to observe the coach in action and then have some opportunities to debrief with her after. So she's going to be with us for the full day, doing some model lessons in each of the grade level classrooms, K-3, and then having debrief meetings with all of the teachers. So we're really, really excited for that work. It's going to be a really great learning opportunity. And a big shout out to our literacy team, Teresa Nicuzzi, Jen Nickel, and Christina Conroy, who are supporting this literacy work in countless ways, and to all of our K-3 teachers who are implementing and really doing the heavy lifting around implementing this new program. And I have to say also maintaining some of the pieces of reading instruction that really make Beecher. And when I say that, one of the things that I'm talking about is the opportunity for students to engage in some choice around their reading. That's something that's really important to us at Beecher, and making sure that students have independent reading time as well. I walked into a kindergarten classroom, and they had their familiar mats that they have had for a very long time, and on one side is books I want to read, and on one side is books I've read. And I saw little 5-year-olds walking out with their book bins and setting themselves up with their mats, and they had a pile on the left, and they were reading them and then moving them to the right. And that's not a part of HMH, but it is a part of Beecher, and it's something that we value and that we love. And we are making sure that we are keeping some of those beautiful opportunities for choice reading and just reading and loving books in our daily reading instruction. Student council, as Ms. Piazzik knows, she was sharing with us, our student council and our students and our student council leaders went on a field trip today to the Woodbridge Center. They dubbed it an intergenerational art experience, and I thought that was a beautiful way to capture what it was. It was also known as Cocoa and Canvas, and they had the opportunity to paint with members from the town who are of a certain age and enjoying the opportunity to be with some of our student council members. So I know that the kiddos were very excited. They were all wearing their student council shirts. I saw paintbrushes walking past me. They were quite thrilled to be doing that experience. And Superintendent Tenza also touched on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We do believe in celebrating and honor diversity, equity, and inclusion all the time at Beecher, but special days like Martin Luther King Jr. shine a light on lessons around these topics. And there was a lot of work throughout the building in the day leading up to our day off on Monday. And I was in one second grade classroom where students were writing about their dreams, a la Martin Luther King Jr., and the students wrote things like, "My dream is to end war and have peace. My dream is everyone can be kind, nice, brave, smart, and proud." After that one, the students we heard them counting, and we couldn't figure out what they were counting, and they counted all the way to 200, and we were like, all right, way to go, second graders, what's going on? And it turns out after the "My dream is everyone can be kind, nice, brave, smart, and proud," they decided to put 200 exclamation points to really emphasize their message. Another one was, "My dream is for people not to respond with violence, but to respond with harmony. And my dream is to be a police officer when I grow up so I can help the world be safe." I found Officer Lynch after I read that one and brought him over to that second grade student, and he was literally fluttering with joy because he could not believe he was meeting Officer Lynch personally and sharing his writing with Officer Lynch personally, and it was a really sweet moment to share. Our students are pretty amazing. They have some really awesome dreams, and I have no doubt that they're going to change the world. Any questions for me?
Thanks, Lisa. It's always nice to hear all these great things that are going on. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Lisa?
The technology topic you brought up, I actually don't know if this is for you, Vonda, or for Lisa, but it reminded me of the Power School breach we had. I know we sent out a communication about that, and you met with Power School folks. Is there anything we need to be doing here with regard to that, or potential future breaches, or are we feeling pretty confident that that situation's been dealt with?
I do feel pretty confident that that situation was dealt with. We do have some follow-up information. I'm meeting with Anthony, I believe, tomorrow afternoon, and we have just a little bit more information that we're going to hand out.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yep.
Thanks again, Lisa. 4B on our agenda is Beecher Road School Infrastructure Building Committee date.
I probably stepped on your toes. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. You saved me a lot of time. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, we're good.
First of all, I would like to announce that Jeff Hughes will be taking over chairing that committee. And
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
And we're delighted because Jeff has really an intimate relationship with the building at Beecher. He's chairs our facilities committee, and he's worked really closely with Vito and is on top of everything. So I think he's going to serve us well as the chair of the UBC.
Yeah. Finally got it right. Just to echo what Vonda said, upcoming tour, they were awesome. I encourage all to attend, get parents involved and community members involved, very important. I think Antonazi did a great job trying to gather input. Tours, Vito does an excellent job, shows the whole school basically, so we could encourage to attend. I think their consultants doing a great job gathering the data, asking the right questions. I was actually really impressed with their presentations, so all in the right direction. We have a meeting tomorrow at 3:30 if anyone would like to join us. And we're all
Via WebEx.
via WebEx.
Yep,
Thank
they're
you.
virtual.
Via WebEx. basically it for the building committee.
Great.
Was that presentation online?
Did that?
No.
The
No.
workshop, the community workshop
But
one?
what
The
we're
presentation.
planning for the second one is to have it videoed.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about it tomorrow at our meeting and hopefully get it so they can do a video and that'll be up on YouTube. It sounds like the plan. So the tour and the presentation should be coming up on YouTube if all goes well.
Pretty good, thanks.
Thanks, and we'll move right into Facilities Committee
Sure.
report.
Absolutely. The Facilities Committee met January 9th. As always, Vito does an excellent job keeping our school in tip-top shape. A couple big projects, those ball drips for the fire department valves were replaced. About half of what we expected cost-wise, $15K versus $30K, so that's a win for us. Vito also reported out a roof leak, which thinking back is always on his report, so to echo also what Vonda said about the roof, only replaced a quarter of it, a lot more to go, and it continues to show its age. Multiple HVAC repairs, upcoming projects, the lights on the corner of the building, a lot of people notice because they're blinking, he's on it. Also, some fence repair along the tennis courts and along the lower garage. Jay brought up an excellent point. We're going to maybe have conversations with the town, see what direction that goes in. And we'll see where that takes us. That should be it for facilities update.
Perfect. Any questions on either, which I didn't ask for, the building committee or facilities? Okay, well, we hope to see people on February 3rd at Beecher. Finance.
Finance. Well, we are halfway through the fiscal year, if you can believe it. And thanks as always to Donna, who does such an excellent job of staying on top of things. In fact, we should be giving her a bonus this month. Because at this point, we're projecting a surplus of $66,200 roughly, compared to an estimated $7,800 shortfall in December and $71,000 shortfall in November. So basically, we're minting money at this point. So, yeah, no, exactly. And then the sky falls. So where are we having savings? Well, 500 series purchased, other purchase services, which includes student transportation, tuition, interns. We're currently running an estimated $71,000 under budget, and that's up from about $56,000 under budget last month. And this reflects an additional reduction in projected expenses because we don't expect to be able to hire as many interns as we had budgeted for. In the 200 series, we show a nearly $31,000 surplus this month compared to being $12,000 over budget last month. And this really reflects the ongoing work that Donna is doing. Basically, with any budget, you're making estimates. And as you have more information, you're able to update those estimates. And in part, what Donna was able to do is then, while we budgeted very conservatively at the outset, she was able to look at our payroll taxes, our CMERS expenses, and the 5 unbudgeted staff positions we added this year, recalculate those expenses, and that has actually resulted in us now projecting a surplus in that category. And Don, if I misrepresent any of this, please jump in and correct me. In the 400 series, purchase property services is currently forecast to be about $25,000 under budget, up from $14,000 under budget last month. We know we're saving on HVAC, which was off for much of the summer due to the roofing project. We budgeted for the pool this year, which will not be opening. And as Jeff just mentioned, we had this unbudgeted expense to do a sprinkler system repair, which came in at half the cost. So that's putting us in a better position this month. We're running pretty much on budget at this point for materials and supplies, furniture and equipment, dues, fees, and miscellaneous, including the Ezra Academy nurse. And on the higher side of the ledger, the 100 series, we're looking at an estimated $41,000 deficit, but this is still compared to an estimated $47,000 deficit last month. Of course, we hired a new first grade teacher. We've been working to fill 4 unbudgeted paraeducator positions, and we were able to fill that part-time psychologist position. On the positive side, we've had less snow than predicted. You may not realize that, but it is true. And that has reduced, we're able to reduce our estimate for custodial overtime. And finally, 300 series purchase professional services forecast roughly a $22,000 deficit, which is basically unchanged from last month and reflects costs for consultant, PTOT, therapist, which we had originally included that position in the salary category. We haven't been able to fill that in a full-time position, so we're getting consulting support to cover that. Donna, anything I
job.
missed? All right.
Any questions for Stephen or Donna on finance?
I just had a quick question. The major difference between the last 2 months is total benefits. So you've just revised the estimates, is that
Yeah,
what you've
so
done?
initially, after the shock of having to hire 5 new people, I was just looking at kind of a worst-case scenario, take those 5 positions, what their benefits are, I'm gonna be over by that, but as time, what I did this time was, I know what's encumbered for everybody that we have on the payroll now. I know how much on the estimated additional column that we think is coming for the pairs that we're still trying to hire, or, and I just computed the payroll taxes on that outstanding, what we think is the outstanding payroll liability. And it gave us some more cushion than
Yeah, it's
I had shown in the past.
42,000, right, the difference? From last month to this past month. Yeah, 12,000, and we're now.
Right, we're 12,000. Yeah, it's
30.
about 43, 42, 43.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's the vast majority of the switch. So there's really
Yes,
nothing
and
else.
there's,
A slight change in other
Yep.
property services, I noticed that, and
Yeah, the
a
purchase
decline in other
services.
services. But the big
Yeah.
one was that one.
and, yeah, I mean, salaries is similar, but we're more over in certified and less over in non-certified.
Right. And that's the interns, right?
That is, I had to pull some salary back from a grant, and then, the Perez, we have some more savings in Perez, and then the OTPT that is now being paid for in the contract.
And the grant switches, are they,
So.
do you actually debit credit, or do you?
Yeah,
okay,
because we
perfect.
had set up our payroll to
Perfect.
put these people in the grant, and when the real grant budget came in, we had assigned too much, so we had to
Just
pull
move
some
it
back.
across. Okay, debit credit, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Stephen. Next on the agenda is Policy Committee, and we have several policies that we hope to adopt this evening.
I'm not gonna review each of these policies because we did that at the last meeting, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and I ask for patience. So, I move that we adopt 9322, public and executive sessions as revised.
Do I have a second? Sarah Beth? Motion made by Erin Williamson, seconded by Sarah Beth Del Crete. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
I move that we adopt policy 9323, construction of agenda as revised.
Do I have a second? Stephen? Motion made by Erin Williamson, seconded by Stephen Lawrence. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9324, advanced delivery of meeting materials as revised.
Second? Jay, I thought you were going to raise your hand. I was looking that way.
I know, wait on.
Jay Dyer?
Everyone gets a turn.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9325, meeting conduct as submitted.
Do I have a second? Lauren? Motion made by Aaron Williamson, seconded by Lauren Franchese. Any discussion?
Lauren is supposed to say, and I'm not angry.
All those in favor? Unanimous?
I
Good.
move that we adopt policy 9325.2, order of business, agenda as revised.
Second? Jeff? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jeff. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9325.3, parliamentary procedures as submitted.
Hang on a second.
2-1, right?
You skipped order of business.
2-1.
I inadvertently omitted the.
Oh, okay.
9325.21.
On the motion sheet.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
So let's do 2, 3, and then I'll go back and do 2.
Okay.
How about that?
so motion to adopt policy 9325.3 parliamentary procedures by Aaron. Do I have a second? Mike? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9325.21, bylaws of the board, as revised.
Do I have a second? Sarah Beth? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Sarah Beth. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9325.4, vote recording as revised.
Do I have a second? Stephen? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Stephen. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sorry.
Unanimous?
Lynn, I'm noting that when I said 9325.21, I said bylaws of the board. That actually should be order of business.
Order of business is correct. Thank you.
I move that we adopt policy 9325.43, attendance at meetings via electronic communications as revised.
Do I have a second? Jay? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9327, electronic mail communication as revised.
Motion made by Aaron. Do I have a second? Jeff? Any discussion? All those in favor?
I move that we adopt 9330, board school district records as revised. It's in the packet, but it's not on the list.
Right. Do I have a second for that? Jay? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we delete policy 9340, school board membership in its entirety.
Second? Stephen? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Stephen. All those, any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt 9360, legislative program as revised.
Second? Mike? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9400, monitoring products and processes as revised.
Do I have a second? Lauren? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Lauren. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous?
I move that we adopt policy 9420, recognition of accomplishments by citizens, students, staff members, or members of the board as submitted.
Do I have a second? Sarah Beth? Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Sarah Beth. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you.
I move that we adopt policy 5131.81, electronic devices as revised.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Sarah Beth. Because our other board members are tiring out raising their hands apparently. Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Sarah Beth. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous? Wonderful, thank you.
Thank
As
you.
you can see, anyone watching, policy has been busy. So this is great. I think that completes the 9,000 series. So, well done, Policy Committee. Next on the agenda is CABE Liaison Report.
Next Wednesday is a legislative breakfast that I know some board members will be attending. It's a nice opportunity to meet local legislators, ask them, talk about some of the hot topics. If anyone wants to register, there's still time to do that. And then just March 12th is Day on the Hill, which is another opportunity to meet with your local legislators, hear about what upcoming policies might be affecting our district. So if anyone's interested in attending that.
And for the legislative breakfast, that's being held at Seymour
Seymour
Middle
Middle
School, and you can register online. It's from 8:15 to 9:15, so it's a quick in and out, but it gives you the opportunity to meet with our legislators, which is really great. I think Vonda's going, I'm going, Sarah Beth's going, so.
To the, on the hill.
To
This
the
is the
legislative breakfast on January 29th. So, join us. Are you going? Aaron's going. They always have a nice little breakfast, so. And it's also great to be able to see other board members from our district, Area 7. Upcoming meeting presentations. February board meeting, Vonda spoke about a little bit, will include the district website oversight. And so I would ask board members to reach out to Vonda if there's anything specific that they want to see included in that. I believe we're inviting our tech people to come, so they'll be here to walk us through some of the district website. Monthly community service announcement. Policy committee is going to meet on Monday, February 3rd at 4:30. Curriculum committee will meet on Thursday, February 6th at 4 p.m. Finance committee will meet Tuesday, February 11th at 4:30 p.m. As Jeff mentioned, Beecher Infrastructure Building Committee will meet on Thursday, which is tomorrow, January 23rd at 3:30 p.m. via WebEx. And it also has some additional meetings scheduled for the first and third Thursdays of the month, unless that gets changed during the meeting on Thursday. The next community workshop with the architects and the building committee will be held on February 3rd, as we spoke about. Building tours beginning at 5:30. Architects presentation and workshop activities will run from 6:30 to 8 p.m. I'm urging the members of the Woodbridge community to attend to hear about the planning to address space issues at the school that is currently underway. In addition, there will be a tri-board meeting of the Board of Education, the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Finance, which will meet on Wednesday, February 12th. So board members make note of that because the three boards will discuss the planning that's taken place so far and be able to have a tri-board discussion about that.
What time is that?
6?
I want to say 6.
I want to say 6, Mike, I'm sorry.
I believe it's 5 o'clock, Lynn.
Oh, it is? Thank you, Marcia.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that will be held right in this room. But again, stay tuned. You'll get some more information on that, Mike. But
Okay.
put it on your calendar for late afternoon, early evening. Lastly, the next meeting of the Board of Education will be held on Monday, February 24 at 7 o'clock, right here in the main meeting room of Town Hall. Okay, so that gets everybody's calendars up to date. And we are now on item 5 of the agenda, new business, to accept the certified staff retirement of Kathy Marlar, which Vonda already spoke to the board about Kathy and her service to the Beecher Road School. And so on behalf of the board, I'd like to extend our thanks to Kathy for everything that she did as an employee. And I know that she was really very well respected by her colleagues, and that the students really did love her very much. So she will be missed. So I will make a motion that we accept the retirement of Kathy Marlar effective June 30th, 2025 with regret. Do I have a second to that motion? Aaron? Motion made by Lynn Piazzik, seconded by Aaron Williamson. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous. And so Kathy will miss you, and we hope you'll come back and visit. Item 6, public comment. Once again, I see no one from the public to make public comment. There is no need for an executive session this evening. And so, board members, believe it or not, at 7:53, Marcia and I had a little bet going this afternoon that
Finish by 8.
we were going to be out by 8.
Nice.
So at 7:53, is there a motion to adjourn? Stephen Lawrence? Jay, are you seconding that motion?
I was just rolling back.
Motion made by Stephen Lawrence to adjourn at 7:53, seconded by Jay Daya. All those in favor? Board members, thanks so much. Everyone have a wonderful evening.